Hi, Mrs. Greno, and I am in Module 6. So you are at the point where you are ready to do your first discussion-based assessment for Segment 2. So I just wanted to go over how that's actually going to work. So here I am in the Module 6 folder. So at this point, you will have worked through all the lessons and the assignments, taking notes on each lesson, going back into your grades, reviewing any mistakes. So any scores that were less than 100% that you're making sure you're going over into your grades and clicking on those scores to see my feedback, see the questions you got wrong, what the correct answer is, and either making sure that you understand those or learning from your mistakes, or reaching out to me so that maybe I can explain it more kind of as you move forward, so that again, once we get to the end of the module, that you feel confident to take the test and move on to the next module. As we scroll down here, you can see that you will have just completed the practice test, and that means you're ready to do the discussion-based assessment. So please reach out to me if you haven't yet, which means text me, email me, or even call me directly to set up a time to do your discussion-based assessment that works for both of us. I typically do them over the phone. I have you be logged in to your grades for your algebra course, and then I also have your grade book up. And then we're able to go into your practice test and be looking at the same problems and kind of discuss those ones you got wrong. And even if for someone if you get 100% or do really well in the practice test, which is great, I'll still have you kind of work through or talk me through how you did some of the problems. In terms of the discussion-based assessments grading, for myself, mine is about my grading, or to get 100% on your discussion-based assessment is coming prepared to it. And that means you have notes that you've taken the time to write down notes on each of the lessons and have that lesson summary packet that's in the welcome folder that I'll point out in a second again. Otherwise, the expectation would be if I ask you something that you know it. I mean, that's the other thing. So maybe if you didn't take a lot of notes, then you want to be really confident that you know everything that's in the lesson and able to kind of have, a discussion with me, explain kind of how you work through a problem with it. With your discussion-based assessment, again, the lesson summary packet, just a reminder, again, is in the welcome folder. So this is what's highly recommended for you to print off right from the beginning. Staple it, put it in your math notebook, and use those two items as you work through every lesson, every module in this course. Those are the two items you can bring into your final exam: the lesson summary packet and any handwritten notes you have in your math notebook. Just to point out again, the lesson summary packet is a PDF. So if you see here, you can open it up and use that as you're working, hopefully help you work through the lessons and understand them even better. One of the main things, for example, a lot of students get kind of stuck on 6.02 and 6.03, so understanding measure of center, measure of spread, when do you use mean, when do you use median, how do you know if there's an outlier, if the data is asymmetrical. And really, in all the feedback I give you always, if you had some trouble with it, it refers to this table is really useful, that understanding what you should use when data is symmetrical, right? When there's not an outlier versus when data is asymmetrical. So if the conversation and discussion-based assessment is, tell me when you're symmetrical, what should the two things you should choose? And you can refer back to that then, or I can point that out if you are prepared and have your lesson summary packet with you. Once you go back back into Module 6 here again, discussion-based assessment, when you go to submit it, there's a drop box here. You can just type in the date that we talked if it's not already submitted right after we grade it. So you can always just enter in the date, and that's all the information that I need, more just to kind of log that, and that score will be recorded. After that, then you can move on to your tests. You want to move on to your tests. Hopefully you feel more prepared to do that, to do both Part 1 and Part 2. And a reminder that once you start your tests, you need to finish it in one sitting. So unlike assignments that you can start it, save it, come back to it, tests are meant to, again, be prepared. Have out your notebook, have enough time, and finish it in one sitting. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit, just introduction to it. And I'm looking forward to talking to you and helping you kind of review over this first module.